It's a pleasure having you on Madid Updates.
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother Charles. I'm very, very humbled as well.
It's good to have you. To our viewers who may not know you well, who is Edwin Pino Mujisha, and when did you first realize you are a leader? How did your leadership journey come about?
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother Charles, and to all our viewers out there. My name is Edwin Twinomujisha, also known as Ikondere. So I hail from the hearts of the Greater Bushenyi, because from the heart of Greater Bushenyi, that is the part that remained after separating Bushenyi, dividing Bushenyi into different districts. Initially, Bushenyi was as a whole was divided into about 5, that is Rubirizi, Bwezu, then we got Shema, Mitoma. So I come directly from the Bushenyi that remained. Yeah, I come from Bushenyi Shaka municipality, and indeed it is where I had contested as the member of parliament to represent our people, my people, and to represent us, and including myself, to the floor of parliament as the member of parliament. Of course, like you asked, this is my way back in time. I mean, it's a dream that has lasted for quite long. Yeah, way back in time when I started school, myself, I come from a community where I grew up knowing that human beings are about working so hard. Working so hard, and of course, you work to serve. Because we clearly believe and understand that service is the only rent we give to God for the gift of life. Maybe it's well understood by quite a few Ugandans. So where I come from, we are defined by hard work and leadership. So I just grew up looking at the values of service. And you know, when you trace my experience and record right away from my schools, from my early days of school, I started becoming a leader. I did not become a leader because I had a reason for leading others, but I started becoming a leader because I realized that I was supposed to become part of the solutions. I had to create a set of solutions for the existing challenges. So in other words, I'm trying to draw to your attention, my brother Charles, that I grew up from an environment, from a community that had challenges, that needed perfect leadership for the
youngest politicians that we have in this country. And you aspired for the recent 2026 general elections, representing the people of Ishaka municipality. What really triggered your interest into public service?
Yes, my brother, I will thank you once more. You see, this should be on record, and Ugandans out there should understand that people of my age, people of my generation, people of this new era, we have had the contemporary challenges that quite differ from the challenges that used to exist during our grandfather's time. Now, I was greatly inspired by the gaps within the education sector, the gaps within the youth empowerment, the gaps within the job opportunities, the gaps within the local service delivery. You know, Charles, I grew up looking at, leadership, especially from my area, Bushenyi. When you look at Bushenyi and you try to read about the history, the political history of Bushenyi, you realize that over the time, leadership has been, granted, the opportunity to lead has been granted to the few families, to the few prominent people in the district. And then me, as I was growing up, I kept on setting a challenge for myself, asking myself, is it really very true that someone who is raised and, coming from these marginalized communities, coming from the suffering communities, can't one of us rise and say, yes, I am the solution? Say, yes, I am the voice. Say, yes, I'm coming to create an impact. I'm coming to create a change. So I was greatly inspired by the gaps in service, local service delivery, gaps in the opportunity for the jobs, who grabs what job and why. For example, if all of us, regardless of our family background, regardless of our political affiliations, regardless of our religious, fellowship, how we have gone to the same schools, what limits one from contesting and another contesting for a political office? So I wanted to really prove to the whole world that yes, regardless of your family background, you can be a solution to the challenges in your community.
Cunning and self-serving. For the time that you've been into political space, what is your experience? In your own opinion, what knowledge do you have about this?
Yeah, it is very true, my brother. We have seen very many. In fact, this was my experience. It was the other part of my experience during campaigns. You will reach somewhere, you speak, and you really feel like you are speaking in line with the demands and the interests of the people in that very community. But before you know, people are like telling you, these words are not any new. They will tell you, you see, you seem to be a very good person, but we have trusted another person before, and after stepping on the floor of parliament, they turn into a lion, they turn into a different person. They can't be reached anymore. And this creates an atmosphere for our people in our community to believe that whoever steps in is not coming to serve their interests, but rather to serve the personal goals. Now look, my brother Charles, it should be on record that leadership is about purpose. It's definitely about purpose. So largely, it is entirely about how you define your purpose as a leader. For example, we have people in this country who have served in their different offices and capacity with integrity. You see, leadership should go beyond, the title and the office. Leadership should stand out to be, about your cause, to create a change, your cause to bring solutions on board. But all of this should be defined by performance, of course, and character. So in one case where you find that a leader is serving their personal interests, it becomes automatically strange for them to satisfy the community. But where the leader, focuses on handling the community needs first, you believe that you are serving people, you are serving humanity. You believe that you are coming in to create a set of solutions, not to yourself, but to your community, to your people, to your country. My brother, then the narrative that comes into the minds of people to think that leaders are just about to, self-service, then it would completely change. So it's about the purpose. It's about how you package yourself. It's about discipline. If you separate leadership from character, then we keep in this disastrous atmosphere, political atmosphere.